look good when they're being read.
It's okay. Can you hear me now, Stacey?
Check it out.
It's hot as hell.
Yeah. It's all cool.
We with Jamal, y'all.
We got your head. DS.
Stephanie James.
Stephen James. Alright, keys.
What did I have, baby?
Alright, cool. Here we go. Did she respond, say she could hear anything yet?
What about now? What about now?
Is that an iPhone on your hand?
Mm-hmm.
Let me see real quick.
Hold
I just want to see this one.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, you can see it, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's like the feed or whatever, like
yeah.
reverb.
Yeah. Our lag or whatever.
So I'd like to introduce the new iPhone. It's going to be amazing.
Amazing.
Just amazing. Amazing for the people. And what's amazing about it,
Is that it's the same old iPhone.
Jay Dilla's on the wallpaper.
Is that it's the same old iPhone. And you're still going to pay $1 million fucking dollars for the same old iPhone. What is that? Brandon, are you going to strip for us?
No, absolutely not.
Let's not do that.
Fuck no.
No.
I'm gonna completely
Yeah.
just
I mean, Reggie, you
No.
could.
no.
No?
Sad
I'm
about it.
good.
No.
Tell
No?
us.
No?
Your birthday's coming up. Is that what you want? I mean, you trying to drop hints? You know?
Well,
We can get you some dudes.
We can, have some Chippendales come by the job.
what the fuck is a Chippendale? I
Well,
would cry
I
laughing.
guess you'll
like,
find out.
that would be hilarious.
You will find
Well, I
out.
know Heather, and then we'll love it.
Oh, hell yeah. I can't say that on film.
Look at the waves, cuz. Look at the curls. It's all good. That's that Shea moisturizer. I'm still using it. That's okay.
That's fine.
I still got it.
Cocoa
That shit's
butter
expensive. I'm not throwing that out. You crazy? Is you crazy?
Got some 1987 shea butter.
Right.
This has been passed down from generation to generation.
This is a retro shea butter.
You got that,
Circa 81.
You got the industrial size shea butter tub.
That's what's up. We're glad you're here, Stacey. Thanks for tuning
Thank
in.
you. All the way from Texas.
Kelvis Freshly's gonna bring us in with the fader in just a minute. Let people know what time it is.
What time it is, where we be, how we do it.
Let them know what it is.
All right. Y'all ready?
We need more cowbell. More cowbell.
More cowbell. More cowbell, let's snip. All right. So, Random Tuesdays. Of course, I'm Kelvis. This number one. This here is Trill Huxtable _84. We are in, as we promised. We are in DSE. We are in DSE. Somebody asked about my shirt. This shirt right here. This one. You just made my shirt look amazing. Thank you, by the way.
I did.
It just, somebody asked about, we had to get all of this dope million times. So, let me introduce you. The man of the hour.
Without further
Just on,
ado.
without further ado. Drum roll, please.
I got one even better.
Oh, he's actually got
He
has
got
his drum.
drumsticks.
Oh, he's got drumsticks.
I can't drum
No,
roll,
he
so
can
yeah.
though. But
Yeah, this got some blast right here. We don't want to do that.
Yeah, not at all.
so this y'all, this right here, this is James, the owner of DSC. We gonna kick it with him, show off some of his new shirts, talk about all of the stuff that he's been doing, and all of that.
You kind of
Let
tall,
me-
Kirby.
I am
I
tall.
should move here because you're
I've been tall my whole
See,
life.
the way you look tall is you get all
Yeah.
the way in the back, and then that way it's just like you're matching up with everybody.
There
there you go. Boom. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Stand up a little bit taller, man. A little bit taller. A little bit more.
I feel tall.
You can't. No.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Why you gotta height shame me?
That is high shame.
Yeah, that's a new thing.
You know what? One of these things is not like the other. One of these things,
I feel like this is an
Just
EPMP
doesn't
album
belong.
cover right now.
like, we all have on the set. We could definitely be in a band.
Yeah.
Light Skin Mafia band.
That would actually be a dope name for it.
Light Skin Mafia Band. Yeah, the
You
light
would
skin.
get more
Shout
you
out.
get a lot of laughs and a lot of ticket sales. People got to see what that's about.
And of course,
Shout out
of
to-
course,
to
the
Mondo for
drummer
that one.
gotta have like the drummer, and he can play bass. So he can slap on the bass, and he gotta look like he just extra fly and not wear the same color as everybody else.
Well, I mean, we usually do though.
We
without
usually,
coordinating.
oddly enough,
I was
rock
looking
the
at
same
the hat
color.
and like the detail of the Derek Jeter like captain joint. That's pretty dope.
Thank you,
It's
thank you.
hard.
Yeah.
It's-
Cool.
So we are live from DSE right now.
How many people are looking right now?
Right now we
Right
have
now,
three.
three.
This is gonna take a minute for people to get in and whatnot. Usually it does because this is where we like send out the
Text and all that.
yeah. This is how we send out the text and all of that. But usually this is when, but we kind of hopped on a little bit earlier, so hopefully they pop in and they get questions and we can show off your stuff. Your cousin, did you tell him? To Kentucky, because that's who asked about my shirt.
Okay, that's what's
Sorry.
up.
All right.
Yeah, another person from Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Like,
Paducah?
but you know, whatever.
Louisville?
Louisville.
Louisville.
There is
Well,
Louisville.
Muhammad Ali is from Kentucky.
Man, we gotta go to the museum, man.
I'm
Absolutely.
totally okay with that. Let's do it.
And we got to go down there and get some marvelous food.
I'm down
And
with
then we go
eating
to Celebrity
wherever
Museum.
I go. Please, please
Excuse
feed
me,
me
y'all.
all the time.
I'm gonna get that
I gotta
shot
send this
real quick.
to
I'll
Pam
be back.
right quick. I feel like I'm forgetting to send this to somebody. Nope. Nope. Yes. And last but not least, YouTube. Yeah. E.
I got the feeling. Baby, I got the feeling.
Oh,
You don't know.
your cousin's at the door.
Is that good?
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah. We got a live visitor, y'all. We got another special guest.
No, I'm doing a live broadcast.
Man, that was hilarious.
No, you good. You want to sit in while we're doing this?
I knew you was gonna say that.
Hottest Hades and
Can't take y'all nowhere, man.
The way we looked up. Oh, that's classic. That was
You're a
classic.
horrible human being. You know that already.
Who? Yeah, absolutely.
That's his lightning bolt. I'm gonna stand over here next
You
to
get
the
that
guy.
off from
You're the one showing drift, paraplegic
But you
drifting
laughed,
videos.
though.
I didn't.
You did though.
No, I wasn't laughing.
I wasn't
I did not
laughing.
laugh. Because I didn't want to go to
That
hell.
shit was hilarious.
I wanna
You're
go-
laughing at it right now.
If I'm going
No,
to hell,
I'm
I'm
not. I'm
on
laughing at
merit,
beef.
not for laughing at people in chairs. That's not.
Yeah, that's not cool.
That's
That
not
was
cool.
funny as shit.
That's not cool.
I'm sorry.
That's not cool.
I didn't say if it was cool or not. I said it was funny.
God, I'm gonna need you to let that lightning bolt hit right there.
Right. How would it like
Step out the
just
way.
step over the frame?
Get over here.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Do your thing, dog.
Okay. So what's up to everybody in the room? Hit the chat. Say hi to us. Say what's good. I feel like we should start telling y'all
Absolutely.
and hop into this interview. But I got actual written questions. So.
Cool.
James, bring your light skin cell phone over here.
Okay.
Stop height shaming
Now
and
she's
shade
shaming.
How was that shade shaming? All I said was light skin. Is he
Go back a
not?
little
Is he
bit.
not?
I mean, I'm
of a
light
lighter
skinned,
complexion?
so
That's
I'm
not.
like-
But he does have a name.
I said James. I totally said.
Why
You
you
know
gotta,
what
why
shit
you gotta
is.
be light skinned James though? Why can't
Why can't you just be James?
What would that be? LSJ?
Yeah, LSJ. What's good, bro?
Wasn't that LSJ?
That-
I definitely went with the LSD thing. It was like LS and automatically thought D for whatever reason.
We know what you do in your free time.
Not really.
Well, then the D was sent for something else, so I don't want that.
Right.
Y'all brought that on yourself.
You keep that.
I mean, that's what
I'm
happens
good.
when you're dealing with someone who's like like
Consistently.
that.
That's why we
Yes.
get along.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I don't know where to start, but okay, I
We're
actually.
gonna put them front a little bit towards
So-
them.
Do I really have to be like?
Yeah.
I mean, you are the man behind all of this.
I mean,
I
yeah.
guess.
I actually wrote down questions.
See, now I can look right.
Perfect.
Cool.
Yeah,
That
okay.
works.
So I'm gonna start with the first. Give us some backstory. When did
So you got a logo.
your store start?
So the store started May 23rd, 2008. So we celebrating 9 years in about a few weeks. Yeah.
What up, Nicole? So you'll be celebrating in a few weeks. So what came first? Was it you have the idea to open up a store, or did you have the idea to start a clothing line first?
Both sort of started at the same time. Like, I mean, I did when I was in high school, like, I did like sketches and stuff like that, you know, like as far as stuff that would maybe go on like shirt for myself. But, you know, the real thought of doing a brand really didn't start until like I actually was ready to open up the shop. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So how did you get prepped to like have a whole entire like? I know people who have businesses but no brick and mortar. How did you start that?
I mean, I started just like anybody else, you know, like we were getting ready to start a business, you know, like first LLC, you know, like getting the name registered, everything like that, taking care of the logistics. But getting this spot was just by chance because I actually used to hang out around this area, going to this spot called The Goat. It was a sneaker boutique back in the day. And being in the area, I was just sort of like, yeah, this is cool. And then I think it was one day I went into, so told this story so many times, but it's like, and I'm gonna make sure I'm in the shot. All right, cool. I'm tall. That's why I was like standing back here because it's like, yeah.
You just don't want to feel short.
All right, cool. Yeah, so I'm not that tall. I'm like less than 6 feet, like 5'11" and a quarter or something like that. 5'11" and a half.
Tall-esque.
But yeah,
Tallish.
yeah, tallish. Like, but no, if I wear Timbs, then I'm like 6'2". So yeah.
Absolutely. Shout out to Timberlands for helping short
Yeah.
guys out.
Yeah.
So you help me out every day.
But yeah, no, but back to what I was saying, I went into this coffee shop that used to be in the area. The owner there, you know, like I said, I had, some shirts from this company that I was messing with called, and he saw it, was like, man, these are dope, like, you should, like, have your own store, and you know, what? I was just like, okay, but then he said, like, nothing really going on downtown Detroit, so it's like, when I got this spot, I mean, rent was, you know, very cheap, you know, like, and I said, you know what, try it out and see what happens, you know, like, I mean, I did take some time to really think about it, think of a business plan, but it really was, the space happened to be there, the price was right, I already had connections with other companies to at least get some brands in here, and in the process, I said, well, I gotta fill up the store. So that's when I'm like, all right, some of these designs that I was working on, let's turn it into a brand. And then that's how DSE came about.
What does DSE stand for?
Definitive Style Exclusive,
Okay.
which I don't give the other hat. So.
The other, yeah.
Yeah. The
So-
Wordsmith hat. Yeah.
Usually, when people see anything in Detroit with a D,
Mhm.
they want it to mean something in Detroit. So why not have it? Why did you not have it be Detroit style exclusive or something like that?
Because exactly what you said, everybody would expect it to be Detroit. And at the time, you know, Detroit wasn't really something that, I think immediately when you said Detroit, people would be like, and I had no problem with, you know, like putting Detroit on it, but I felt like in order for people to look at you from the standpoint of like, this is something serious, that you can't be Detroit at the time. So that's when I was thinking, all right, I got to think of something. Like, I knew the style was always going to be there, but I said, what is it that I can think of? And really, in a sense, Definitive Style, like, sort of grew into it. Like, I was literally just going through my memory and it's like, D, and then Definitive came about. And, yeah. So, yeah.
What was your biggest challenge in creating the brand that is as widely known? Because even before I met you, even before Carby introduced me, I would see the shirts. What was your biggest challenge in trying to get your brand out there for people to see?
I think it was really growing into it because, like I said, early on when the name came about, you know, I hadn't fully, like, it's sort of like, think about it, it's like a kid. This is like, you don't really make your name until you sort of come of age, you know, like, so it's like you can be named as a child, but it's like if the child, you know, passes away, it's like the only thing you know is the child of that person, you know, where at least when the child gets a little bit older, you know, starts to talk, sort of gets there, even as a kid, you sort of know this is where the child, you know, like where they're going. And then as they get older, they sort of grow into it. So I found myself where, I'm just making sure I'm in the shot, you know, as I found myself really like taking time to figure out what is DSC, you know, building the brand was like, okay, go back to what you were saying, definitive and definitive style, meaning that's something that's true, you know, like it's truly you know, your own particular style. And I'm like, all right, bet. So what is it that I like? And I always found myself that I like unique, you know, intricate little stuff that no one pays attention to. And I said, well, why don't I take stuff that's either in the back burner or stuff that people don't pay attention to and make it where it has, you know, like some sort of meaning or sayings or whatnot, things people ain't talking about.
One of the things I really like about your brand, man, is the fact that it's very thought-provoking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you see right here, you got a shirt.
Yeah.
Nice stuff. But it says love him.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few other shirts as well we'll get into. But, like, when you have these type of shirts, it's almost a conversation piece.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's dope because it's not just a cool looking shirt, but it's going to bring that up to when people see that. They're like, what does that mean? Who are they referring to? Was that part of your plan when you designed it?
Always. Like I always wanted to, like, even some of the early joints, like that I remember I came out with. There was one that a singer used to say all the time with my uncle, cool like Coolie High. And it's just stuff like that where it's like, it's references to like movies, it's references to people in hip hop. So it's like, I always wanted to make pieces that would make people like, I mean, it's sort of funny. I always think like DSC is sort of like I used to love her a little bit. And, you know, like when comments talking about, you know, not preaching to me, but speaking to me in the method that was leisurely, you know, like, so that's where I look at DSC, where it's like, you know, it speaks to people without having to preach.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Like, one of my favorite designs that when I worked here wouldn't stay in the store was the Basquiat shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And then you came out with the Be Your Own Basquiat first, right? With
Mm-hmm.
the actual words.
Yeah.
And then you came out with the picture of the Basquiat.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that had so much impact on people where they would come in and be like, yo, what does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then for the people who didn't know who Basquiat was, it kind of gave them something to go and look forward to and dig into and then find out.
Yeah.
Why do you keep it so thought-provoking, yet you have a very simplistic style that is always so very profound and thought-provoking? Why is that?
I say you give someone everything and nothing at the same time. You know, it's like I could easily go ahead and just draw out these immaculate, but it's like I think about, you know, if you're at an art exhibit or something like that and you see like all these great abstract paintings, but if all of them are clustered together, it just becomes like just this big mess. But you notice how, you know, if you go to a show where it's like a photography exhibit and it's, yeah, you know, the minimal is like, it gets you to think beyond just what you see. You know, like sometimes the most simple stuff is the one that gets you to think. It's like,
There's definitely beauty and simplicity. Also, if you're trying to convey a message, if you're able to execute a message on a simple platform, you're gonna the message reach a lot more. Because if you give like people a bunch of things, like if you give them a picture that's real complicated, they get lost. Sometimes like that message gets lost. If you're able to just keep it simple and just get, you know, give your message out there, it's always going to be, you know, like, you know, just do it. Nike, that is a world renowned,
So
and you know, and you know exactly where that comes from, but it just do it.
yeah.
You don't have to do a 8-page letter explaining what you know your brand. So I like that.
Definitive, you define yourself through your style. Essentially the name, right?
Yeah, and it's really like, you know, definitive is meaning, you know, the concrete, I hate to say final, but, you know, in a sense, this is like the best way I can compare it is like someone, you know, like who's going through sort of an identity crisis and they're trying to find themselves or, you know, let themselves be found. And it's like, man, they don't know who they are, you know, whether it be just however you want to look at it. But once they realize, you know, like, dang, like, this is who I am, like, this is me, definitive, you know, like, and that's what reaches. Like, and it wasn't any grand plan, it was just really, you know, the name came to me. So there wasn't anything behind it where I'm like, man, you know, I'm doing this for that. But as time went on and I'm realizing what the name really meant, that's when I'm like, because for years I never would say Definitive Style Exclusive. I would always say DSE.
Okay, right.
So it wasn't until maybe the last year or so that I really started to say Definitive Style Exclusive. And that hat that you saw was the first piece that I actually went ahead and said, okay, the brand is Definitive Style Exclusive.
Right.
So it's, like I said, a child that's now coming into its own, and now it's like, okay, I can build my name.
Yeah, I've had the chance to witness you grow, but for you to define yourself, and then it's like you keep redefining yourself with how you change your logo, how you went from having all of these different designs and all of these like different colors. You still stayed to the basis of yourself, and I have to give you mad props for that. Like, bravo. After all of these years, like, I've seen every single logo. I think I probably still have every single logo. But you stayed true to yourself. How do you define Detroit?
How do you define Detroit?
Or
Jesus.
how do you define Detroit, and then how do you define Detroit's style as it's changing? Yes, the hard.
You be giving people a whole mouthful of stuff.
You know what? I can't even really answer that question. And the reason why is because it's like the best thing I ever heard about Detroit is that it's an experimental city. So it's like Detroit. I'll put it like this: Detroit, low key, is in an identity crisis. It doesn't know what it wants to be. You know, like, and I think that, you know, because think about it, it's just like Detroit for the longest has been Motor City. You know, we know that automobile industry is not as strong as it used to be. Motown left. You know, like we have, you know, hip hop. You know, like we have electronic music, and I think that really, in a sense, you know, like, you know, people talk about, you know, New York City as like this big melting pot. I feel like Detroit is like the ultimate melting pot because so many things have either been innovated or been pushed out further. Like I was thinking about this the other day where it's like, think about a lot of your big like innovators in music. I mean, Michael Jackson, Jackson 5 started here. It's just like, yeah, Prince, you know, got his name with, you know, like, was it Electrifying Mojo, you know, like being played here. Like, you know, like, I mean, a lot of you are big time people from jazz to techno. I mean, the big three with, you know, like Juan Atkins and Derek May and Kevin Saunderson. It's just like, I mean, there's so many things. And that's like why I say experimental city. Because what we do is that at that time when we're in the wintertime and we're doing nothing, all we do is just like contemplate and create. Like we are a city of a lot of thinkers and, you know, like in a lot of cases doers. Like we have time to map it out.
Yeah,
you
we
know,
got a little bit more time to work than most other places.
I don't think it's no mistake that you got the thinker in front of the DIA, because if you talk about a statue that really represents Detroit, that's it. Because we have a lot of thinkers here.
Word. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Never thought of it that way. Okay. So, over the years, how long have you been in business?
9 years, May 23rd. Yeah.
Over 9 years.
I've known you for 7?
Something like that?
Not that.
7, because I got some exclusive stuff like that Muhammad Ali shirt that you made. 3 of those? That was like 2010.
Yeah.
Fantastic shirt with all of the 4
I still
members,
got that.
Village,
I still got that one.
And it's a Detroit thing shirt.
Yep.
So those were, yeah, absolutely.
So those are our favorite designs. Thank y'all for leading me into my next question. What's yours?
But you got another
That's like naming your favorite child. It's like,
Hey.
and I know, you know, some parents be like, I never got like, you know what? I'm always partial, and I'll probably lift the, if you can see it. Can I go up? Is Support Detroit. Because that was the one that's sort of like, we talk about the thought-provoking pieces and all, making sure we're in there. Like, that was the first one, you know, like that really like got people to notice DSC. And at the time, you know, I've seen brands that had like Detroit stuff on it, you know, like Spectacles, shout out to her at Soul Detroit. You had Made in Detroit, you had the Pure Detroit. But for the most part, when you talk about, again, Detroit style, no one would really rock like shirts or whatever that had Detroit on it unless it was like a Tigers Fitted or like jerseys. So at the time, it was like, at least for my generation, it's like you really didn't see that. So when I saw that there were people that were really messing with that, I'm like, it started something. And now it's just like, I mean, that piece came out before a lot of the Detroit pieces
Yeah.
came out. And I don't, try to, promote that and anything like that because it's like you're tooting your own horn. But, the real ones that tell you is it's like that was what started, like everything that you see.
Like a whole entire Detroit movement.
Yeah.
But also, along with the Support Detroit, I think it made people kind of question what are you doing to support Detroit? Does the line itself, the other lines actually support Detroit? Because there's a few of them that are not in Detroit, never were made in Detroit or
That's
any
on
of
them.
that.
So it's like,
They're trying to start beefing.
I'm not.
And-
I'm
and- and-
not.
right. Yeah. It's and that was one of the things early on for me because and I've toned it down a lot over the years because I said what, the best thing you can do for a city is just make sure that you continue to create and rep the best you can, because my thing is that aside from the Detroit pieces, because there was a period in time when it was like I'm creating so many different Detroit designs, and what happened, like I'm going to tell you why you don't see that Support Detroit in here on a regular, is because I remember I had someone coming in and they're like, oh, this is the Support Detroit store, and immediately I'm like, no, because I didn't want that to be like the main thing. And it's funny because now you see Detroit still exists on the front of the store, but I'm confident enough in mind to say that if you notice, the store never was Detroit still exists. And if you think that, it's just like, cool, I don't mind. But notice that now there are other pieces that have that DSC acronym. So it's really, in a sense, it's like, what is DSC to you? So these are the sayings for me, and it's like, all right, so what is it to you?
What is it behind?
Let beat get in, because you literally just hug the entire thing.
My bad.
I'm just saying, we gotta get it out. Go ahead.
What is it behind Detroit still exists? What made you come up with that?
So, two things. One, when I was coming back from Atlanta, and I was, I think, what was it? It was after, the design came about. But I remember when I was coming back from Atlanta and I saw like the headline news, they had like a map, like a weather map, and Detroit was nowhere to be seen on that. And it's like, the fact that, we know, like the message is really not for us, because we know, because we're here. Yeah, it's like it's for everyone else, but really, in a sense, it was one of those designs that never was supposed to be. And the reason why was because I was going to be done making Detroit designs. I'm like, no more, And all of a sudden, I'm on online, like on Instagram, and I'm just messing around with the acronym DSC, because I said, all right, I'm going to same-o my own stuff, DSC. And then all of a sudden, Detroit still exists. And I immediately deleted that, and I'm like, I got to get to work on this. And then that turned into a whole thing where it's like, you got Dilla Still Excites, or you got Deep Soul Energy, or During Sex Explore, stuff like that. It's like, so it's a lot of different now DSCs, but it all stems back to the original, which is Definitive Style, and that's why, like I said, it's the brand growing. So yeah, I feel like a proud papa in this part.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And like with that, like with the gear and everything, and like how it's set up, it kind of harkens back for me like an era in Detroit, like especially in Black Detroit, where it's like it's just that dignity and that pride that we had. You know what I'm saying? It often gets overlooked by media and things like that. But I think that style, for me, it represents that as well. Like just that. And the classiness.
And that's, that's why I like interpretation, because I know my interpretation, I want to hear others, so my interpretation definitely, but I will say this, you notice that there's never been any other color other than, color that it comes in.
Right.
So we'll leave it at that. So I think you were, pretty close.
Okay.
Well, we have a couple. This is the one that you had asked.
He made this one.
Last podcast. Did you have this one?
I did have this one on.
Yeah.
Right there, you see it's on the left too.
Yeah. That's fun.
So yeah, this is who made this shirt. You are the the reason why I had him on the show, just so you would know who to order this shirt from. I'm talking to James. Hi, James.
Yeah.
James.
I tripped out because I thought he was on there. Like I was like, this dude is like
everywhere.
How did he do that without his phone in his hand?
So this is who made this one. This is a DSC shirt. What is your website? While we're talking,
DSEDetroit.com.
Yeah. And where's the store located?
DSEDetroit.com. No, I know I'm messing with you. Is located at 202 East Grand River, Detroit, Michigan, 42226. Oh, we got photos.
That's important too that we talk about those candles too.
Oh, we got that.
I got
That's coming.
I got a few of those.
I got people in New York wanting shirts and candles already. I got a couple of.
That's what's up. DSEDetroit.com. Very easy.
Not only does he do dope shirts, he a mean photographer, y'all.
I just
like,
play.
he-
Don't touch. I'm the model.
You're the model.
I got the hands for it.
He does everything. Like, he's super dope. So, because they said I was hogging all the questions, I'm gonna let them two talk, and I'm just gonna.
Alright, cool. Well, in that case, come on in the middle.
All right, I'm in now. How about
You're
that?
in.
There we go. Now I
Okay.
can
Tag in.
Tag that down. So,
Alright, so now we good.
So the fact that you're the sole, basically, it's LLC.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're the only person that's really doing everything. What are some challenges you run into doing it by yourself versus having somebody with you and having a phone and stuff?
And anything you can think of. It's like from the biggest challenge for me is because all the production is done, with these, it's like, sometimes it's hard to get to my shop on time, so that's the biggest challenge for me, because I hate that if someone wants to be here at 11 o'clock and I'm not here and they're looking at me like, oh man, he ain't professional. And I'm like, it is not that. It's just I'm, like I said, I got to make sure that, that merchandise and, everything is produced, in here. So that's, and then of course, like I said, timing is everything, like social life is pretty much,
It's
Done
like-
so.
so a typical day for you is pretty much when do you get up and when do you start working on it, or when do you stop working on stuff?
when I first started, I would work through the night. And then, as I've gotten older, it's just like I start sleep, going to sleep early and I wake up early. Now I find myself getting up like, I say, like our parents and grandparents, we get up at 4 or 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. And it's like, that's me now. So like, and it's better because actually your mind is,
Fresh.
clear, fresh, like drink your, 4 glasses of water, and go at it. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So, where would you like the brand ultimate? Like the ultimate goal for the brand?
I look at it as art project almost too. It's just like it's and I don't think I'll ever be finished with it. I think it's just one of those things where it's like, DSC will be like, I'm hoping that it gets to a point where it's like I want to see like some of these designs maybe one day in like a museum or something like that. Like that's what I really want. Like I mean, my whole thing is that people start brands and they're like, all right, I want to make X amount of dollars and all this. I'm like, I never got into it for money. That's obvious. But I got into it because I loved it. And my thing is that I just want to see how far I can take a concept that started as a streetwear brand out of Detroit and see how far I can take it. Because, the old saying here is like, you got to leave to make it out of Detroit. I'm like, I want to flip that.
No,
I
we
want
talk about that all the time.
Yeah. It's like, I want to show that you can make it in Detroit and don't have to leave. Your impact just has to, find a way to get outside of Detroit. And then because think about it. This is like, and this is another thing I live by. My mind is already out of Detroit. My body just ain't caught up yet.
Yeah.
It's just like, and that's true. That's real. It's just like, if my body can stay here, but if my mind can travel, then that's already part of the battle. Because how many people who leave Detroit but still have the Detroit mentality?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they fail.
Well, you got people in Texas going to order some. You got people in Hawaii that are going to order some.
That would be please do, because that'd be the first time I send anything out to Hawaii. So I would love that. You would be the first.
I'm coming
The
with.
first.
Yeah.
Numero uno.
I'm coming with your shirt.
Yeah,
That's
we might package your shirt.
Yeah, we might be extra with your shirt. So don't be surprised if you open up a box and I'll pop out.
That's
Just wanna let you know.
funny.
We pop out.
All right, it's gonna have to be a big box.
If we pop out.
That's funny.
I get to be a creep right now.
Yeah, she's very much so.
What up, yo?
Cool.
How you doing?
I mean, you've been a creep though, but
That's funny.
I am not a creep.
And one thing else I noticed too, like when you were talking about the support of Detroit, because me personally, that's when I first learned about it. I would see the stickers or I would see people wearing the shirts, and I was like, what is this? Because I had just moved back from Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, what is this? And then when I came in here and I got the hat and I got those 2 shirts, it was just like when, like you said, you were trying to build that brand around everything else that you were doing. It almost seems like it was a correlation between the kind of like what you're seeing now with the rebuilding of Detroit in certain aspects and with your brand, you know, because that was one of the first that I did see that was representing that. So I think it's very cool how it's kind of like on a parallel path.
Well, I mean, now that, you know, is irrelevant. I mean, it is still, it's relevant to a degree, you know, like
Just to see how it morphed into what it was then and now, like when it wasn't the cool thing to put Detroit in something, but now it's like everywhere you go, you see everybody.
That's why I got tired of it, because I'm like, you know, everybody, it's like when everybody catches up, it's just like, do you want to be on the same like track, you know, like, and they just catching up, or you like, nah, I just want to, let me just keep on moving. So that like, and that's what happens, like, and I went through that as an artist where it's like, you know, I started doing this, you know, and I'm looking at other people, and as a runner, you're never supposed to look back or look to the side. You're supposed to keep looking
Blinders.
forward. Yeah. So and that's and I mean, everybody goes through it, you know, like, I mean, and that, you know, was one of my Achilles, was that there was a period of time, probably, you know, like mid-period, you know, like of the 9 years, I'm like, damn, this person doing this, and it's like the mentality where you're not worrying about yourself. And I think part of it was, you know, the fact that, you know, I'm more doing it for the art, so it's like there were definitely periods where I'm like, man, like, you know, the money ain't coming in the way that I want. And I started thinking about the money, and that messed me up, because it's like then you're trying to come out with stuff just to sell. And then I had to like reassess everything. You know, I don't know what particularly was the moment where I sort of got back and said, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to have fun with it, you know, like, and I'm just going to do me. And I don't,
Somebody who understands.
Yeah. So it's like, and really in a sense, it's like, I mean, I remember, what was it? It was the shirt, and it's not in here, I'm Black, Get Over It, which is on the online site. But I was like hesitant to come out with that shirt for a second, because I'm like, dang. But then finally the inner me was like, fuck it. You know, I was like, put it out. And then like, what's surprising, not only the fact that, you know, people were digging it, but when you have white folks buying the shirt, that's another thing. It's like, dang. I'm like, okay.
My mom is watching. Shout out, Mama.
Shout out,
Those are
man.
some ideas.
Yeah,
the last one is pretty freaking dope.
There's something that you said that is, I've never heard anybody kind of put it into words as far as what Detroit is. I always thought Detroit is just a lump of clay. Whoever has control of Detroit gets to mold it and turn it. Like right now, we're going through this whole gentrification thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's always been a city that you can mold depending on who actually runs it. But you can turn it to whatever. Like you have Canada right here, and it has such a big influence on the world, and always has. Even when people think like you know, Detroit is nothing. You know, like I always go out of town like, man, you know, you guys, you know, do you carry a gun and you see people get shot all the time?
Congratulations, you made it out.
Yeah, but it's like it's so many things like that Detroit that people have to thank Detroit for. Like you wouldn't be driving a car if it wasn't for us. Like music, any type of music that you listen to outside of classical music of Beethoven.
I'm pretty sure Beethoven was from Linwood.
Linwood is Davidson, though. He could have been.
But it's like Detroit has always been such a influential city, and depending on who runs it, it's always been like that type of impact it actually has on the world.
Yeah.
So,
well, I mean, we can go into, you know, some real discussion of why, you know, like people don't give Detroit the credit where, you know, like it goes, you know, but we're not going to talk about that, you know, but
that's a whole other
conversation. You know, I don't know why people would look at Detroit and just be like, yeah, I mean, Detroit has nothing going on with it. I wonder what the problem is, you know, like, I mean, maybe if, you know, like Detroit were a little bit more, you know.
and it's funny because the people that want to move into Detroit are saying that.
Yeah.
People from the outskirts have always dogged Detroit. Yeah. Now you want to buy it up and then move in.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, you know what? Again, it's just like there's nothing really to blame, you know, like other than just, you know, the social construct of, you know, like of anything. It's just like, I mean, and that's why, you know, you can't really, like for me, I'm like, you know what? If you do your own thing and try to just like I always look at it as like you got to sort of be in the middle lane. You know, like everybody either wants to be in the fast lane or they want to, you know, like take it slow. And sometimes it's good to be in that middle because you know both sides. Like you know the fast lane, and you sure as hell know, you know, when things.
Or you
are
can
slow.
get on either lane, either way.
Yeah.
If you choose to. Then.
Yeah, you know, like, but that's if you know, like I put it like this. You know, if you driving, you know you're not going to get into that fast lane if you're not comfortable with it. You know, like, but if you're comfortable driving in that lane and you can get ahead of everybody else, by all means do it. But, you know, when you know you're in that middle, you know you're in sort of a zone where it's like you can sort of observe. And then you can choose which side you want to be on. And in a sense, it's more of where you look at Detroit, like it's really two cities. It's like the city that, you know, is being promoted, you know, as the new hip area, and it's still the city that people look at and be like, oh, is it you know, like, is it safe to come? And I mean, from the standpoint of that, it's just like you want to start breaking down the whole aspect of the city of Detroit. It's just like that goes back to the experimental comment, where when you have a city that was built upon one industry, you know, where it's like all of these people who came from down south, you know, like, and came up here, you know, like to work, you know, like to, you know, achieve this middle class. Once you took that element away, and those, you know, obviously who did, you know, have the means to leave, and those who didn't have the means to leave, who, you know, stayed or, you know, like were forced to stay, and then of course they have nothing to do. What do you get? You know, it's just like, I mean, it's sort of like, you know, you're putting the problem on this, but then you're not asking yourself what caused the problem in the first place. And that's why when I look at gentrification, I'm like, so y'all want to, you know, ignore the problem for real, bring, you know, like the income back, but then you still don't want to take care of the problem that was left because of the previous. And it's so funny that now we're in the 50th anniversary of the Detroit riots, and I'm like, you know, the atmosphere for real. And I mean, this is how I feel. Y'all are trying to start that again. And it's like, hold the F up. And it's funny, you remember that design that I came out with? The Never Again tour. That came out back in 2009. Seems very like, what you call it, almost like, dang, like.
Deja vu-ish.
Yeah.
You know. And that's exactly what, you know, like I was warning against, because I knew, you know, like, or I don't say I knew, I just like, it was a feeling that I got that I'm like, dang, like, you know, and it's just something that hit me like riots. And sure enough, like what you're seeing now, people being pushed into, you know, like the neighborhoods and all of
Fair
that.
housing practices,
Yeah.
basically the same exact
thing that happened, you know, before '67.
They haven't learned, so they're destined to repeat.
Yeah.
That goes along with your black bottom shirt,
Mm-hmm.
which they're about to run they're filling up the freeways that they ran the clothes through black bottom, and they're gonna make a walkover park now. Which I think is just as pointless, because you can still build homes there. That's viable space.
Right.
Yeah. But you know what? That's why I say you give someone everything and nothing at the same time. Like if I truly, because I'm sure there are probably people watching and listening to some of the things that I said and probably like, dang, like, but trust me, that's like that much. I'm not giving you everything. Otherwise, my phone is tapped and they coming after my ass quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, to some of the designs that you have in here, if y'all saw when we made the announcement that he was going to be on the show, we posted a photo from your recent shoot with the Love, Respect, Treat Her.
Mm-hmm.
Explain what that is and why.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it like this. I am a lover, you know, like of women, like period. Especially, you know, I'm a lover of black women.
Shout out to women, black women.
You know, and but I'm also, like I said, an observer. So it's like, you know, there's this constraint where it's like, you know, aside from, you know, obviously dealing with mothers or sisters and, you know, like wives or whatnot, where it's like there's always this constant thing that you see amongst, you know, like black women of color, where they feel like that there's sort of this, you know, like disconnect, you know, for the fact that, you know, black women do so much for black men, and it's like, what do brothers really do, you know, like to keep us there, like have our backs and everything like that. And this just came about just laying down, and then, you know, all of a sudden, you know, again, the universe speaks, and like I just end up being that vessel for that. So it's like, and that's the one thing I want to say about designing anything is just like, I never like to say, you know, when people say like, oh man, you did this, it's like, I'm the vessel for it. It's just like, I know where the gift comes from, I know where the inspiration comes from, you know, and it's not just from, oh, I'm thinking it out my ass. It's just like, it comes from that. And
and it's important, it's like what you're saying, like to have that, you know, something so simple and something so commonsensical that most of us talk about, like, you know, respect your woman, respect your man.
Yeah.
And it's like, but to actually see that on a shirt, it just brings a whole new life to that.
Well, it and I felt like it was needed, you know, like, and especially because I never, you know, it's very difficult when you start talking about race, you know, like, because then it's like you know, people are like, oh, well, you're only saying this, that, and the other. I'm like, you know, I don't care who gets it, you know, but the thing is that the message is for, you know, like, my boat is a vessel, but my vessel you see. So of course I'm going to identify first with people that, you know, look like me.
Which is
you know?
which anybody.
Yeah.
People do.
Yeah. So it's like I shouldn't be persecuted for that. But I think that was definitely a discontent that I wanted to address. And like I give credit also to my mother, because after I came out with the Protect, she was like, you need to do love. And then love grew into, you know, like respect, and then respect turned into please. And then the whole concept of, okay, like I'm literally walking home, you know, like just like thinking about the day, and then all of a sudden the thought came into my head of 4 brothers in turtlenecks rocking Protect, you know, like all 4 of those shirts. And it was almost like, you know, the 4 horsemen, you know, that type deal, you know, like 4 strong brothers there standing firm on this, like standing guard almost. And I felt like I wasn't even thinking, okay, a picture like that would go viral. I'm just thinking that would be a strong piece.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I immediately like went out to construct it. And then my mom was like, okay, if you're gonna do that, also have women, you know, like sort of in the middle doing their thing. And what she made real dope was like, you know, have them sort of be carefree and can do their thing, talk amongst each other. And the reason why is because a lot of times black women feel like, you know, they're being targeted. So it's good to know that they can just be themselves while 4 brothers are standing guard.
Right.
You know, even the initial shot that went around, if you notice, like that first shot, even though like they're in the back, you see the women like right behind the brothers, you know, like, and it's nothing to say they're behind. It's just saying, nah, you ain't getting close to them because
You gotta
we
go
got,
through
you gotta go through us
us
to get to them.
You ain't got to walk through that fire, like we got you. Right?
Yeah. And I didn't even realize that until I saw the picture, like what was captured. And when I realized that, I'm like, damn, I think those who really looked at that shot and looked at that initial image of the woman, you know, in the background talking, that's, I think, what makes the picture more powerful than the 4 brothers. Because it shows like, wait, there are women behind here, and you got these 4 brothers who got them all guarded. And that's the way it's supposed to be.
And not only that, but then the brothers are in front of them while they get to just live their life. So you know, so they get to just be who they are, not having to worry about any, you know, like the outside world, you know, damaging them because they're being protected. So yeah, that's a dope.
Absolutely.
The whole concept is dope. Like I said, I have had people at my job that had already been kind of following the project.
Yeah.
Got people in New York, now people in Texas and Hawaii. So it's definitely a dope thing that you're doing here.
I appreciate it.
So outside, like we said, outside of just dope t-shirts and dope ideas, we had Smell-O-Vision.
The candles, yeah.
Candles are very
He
dope.
makes his own candles, and they smell amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, that
He has explain the lifestyle line.
So the lifestyle, which I think is really just the smell goods. I mean, hell, it's like you gotta smell good in this world. Your house needs to smell good, and you need to smell good, and you know, it's nothing better than, you know, like enhancing the pheromones and the environment, you know, like your, you know, being. So, and the one cool thing about the candles, just like the t-shirts, I really tried to again focus on things that, like, case in point, this is, you know, like one of my favorite ones, since we're talking about favorites.
I got you.
Yeah, you got it. All right, there we go.
I'm a ham out of
papaya patchouli, which I've never seen like a combination before. And like patchouli is like that old school like hippie scent. Papaya itself is a very strong scent, and it's like, you know, really that's just me.
It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, and
Is that what's burning in here right now?
no, that's Naima that's burning
That's
in here
Naima.
right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Naima is like, I can't even tell you all the scents in there, and that's when I started to get into like multiple blends and all of that. But you know, that originally I was selling candles in here for another brand, Motor City Candle Works, and I was talking to them like, I want to come up with my own line of candles. And initially it was just going to be, okay, scents that were already there. And over time, I'm like, all right, why don't I start making my own? So I learned how to make them, you know, like, and started mixing around with scents. And next thing I know is like I got, you know, scents that people literally now it's like they want to get. Like, I mean, you know, the candles that aren't up there, like Cocoa Fig, Vanilla, Sex.
Sex.
You know, there's a couple
You got your
Miles,
attention
Interesting
now.
flavor to capture.
yeah, you know, Miles, which is in dedication to Miles Davis. And ooh, like, what up, man? You know, and after either people or songs like Bonita, you know, like Bonita Applebaum, which right now is out of circulation, but it was a great candle, you know. Like,
Yeah, everybody's asking for that.
yeah, Bonita.
Will you retro some of your stuff?
It could be like Jordans, like retro candles.
We have
Right.
talked about retro and t-shirts and you don't do it.
Because I almost 150, almost 200 designs. This is like,
Well, you can put them online and put it up for a vote.
You sound so sad. You sound so sad.
Because
I mean,
we've been talking about this for years.
but do you know how long it took, you know, like for me to do that Detroit thing again? You know, and of course it's sold out, you know, like, but it's like, but again, I mean, some designs I'm just like, you know what? It's like I go back and then I realize, like, case in point, this is like just these pieces, you know, like, and all that. This is like immediately it's like I'm thinking, all right, let me work on this, and then this comes out, and then, you know, other things. So it's like, you know, I feel like, you know, sometimes it's good to revisit, but not too much. You know, it's just like
You should like a 25th anniversary edition, like, you know, like a 10th anniversary, or like, you
I'm
know.
glad that you're thinking, you know,
Yeah.
like years ahead. That's cool.
I mean, that would be
circa
that would be dope.
2009 shirt.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
vintage.
16 years ahead. So
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, it is all like, this is the artist in me. It's all how I feel. You know, like, you know, it's. I remember Prince used to say when people would ask him like, "What's your favorite song?" and he'd always be like, "The next one." You know, and that's sort of how I feel like with the designs. Is like revisit that, and then it's like, damn, do I have else? Like, is something else gonna come? You like all of a sudden have an idea that where it's like idea comes, and then once it comes, it's like shh, it all comes in.
Right.
So then it's like
It's impossible to think about anything.
it's like
You
so.
don't want
Yeah,
thinking
so
about
so, you know, I mean, anytime you've come out with almost 200 designs and people don't even know that you've come out with 200 designs, it is a testament of like how many pieces have sort of come, and then I'm just sort of like, all right, I do this and then I'm done with it. You know, like some hit, there's some that's like people are like looking and I'm thinking, dang, you know, like I didn't think too much of it, but then someone come back and be like, man, when you doing this one again? And I'm like, I did one run of that. You know, it's like, and 15. And then, you know, people are like, man, I want that one. And I forget like some that I made, you know, so it's crazy.
You want to model these one more time?
Protect him. Yeah. And that's funny enough, it's just like, if you've seen the brothers, wait till you see the sisters.
And they got a different. He has different designs of these, so make sure you come cop. Let me see. Yeah, this. Yeah.
So
Sorry.
make sure you come cop. The website again is what?
DSCDetroit.com.
What is the actual brick and mortar web address?
202 East Grand River.
202
I feel like y'all
East
should have just
Grand
like,
River.
boom.
And-
Yeah, I just didn't want to get the
light,
it was
yeah.
The
glare,
lights.
yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, you good, you
halo
good.
shine on you, dog.
202 East Grand River, Detroit, Michigan. Or the website, DSEDetroit.com. We about to wrap it up. Thank y'all for watching. Go Cop. He is dope.
Yes.
Thank you for such a dope interview. I appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Cop some candles. I got a birthday coming up. I'm just saying, put that out there. If
got
you order something and you are out of town, be prepared to see me come out the box because I'm trying to travel as much as possible.
You can keep her too, free
Yeah.
charge.
That's
Look at
funny.
that. Just bam.
Just
This has been another episode, a live show, a Random Tuesdays.
I love this comment right here. It's just like, that should be a shirt. Like, I've been Detroit. You just catching up.
That's Ashley. Shout out Ashley. What's good?
That's
Can I
dope.
give a shout out Ashley. You know what I'm saying? I got you, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's how she's a creative. You know what I'm saying?
She's a creative. She can cook.
That's what's up.
respect her. Ask you to respect.
Yeah, that's defeats the purpose, but okay.
I get disrespected by him all the time. It's okay. I'm kind
Nah,
of
not
used to it too.
Okay.
Dope. Make sure you come, cop, order online. Dope store, dope art. Like if you can see like all the pictures and all other different
He's a
concept. Yeah.
Pass me that. Pass me that one.
Oh, this one?
Yes.
Which one?
The first one. The very, very first one.
Or not even this one?
Nope. This one.
Alright, cool.
I'm sorry.
I think you like the other one better.
This one here, I really, really like because it kind of looks like an A-bomb dropping, but it's actually a woman. Think of it. To me, look.
I did think
face.
it was
I do see it though. It's just like
Nah,
Thank
man.
you. I'm not the only
I
one.
can't give it to you, man.
I mean, I can see this. Is the
I did
deal.
kinda see that, though.
But I mean, I automatically thought it was a woman. So I mean, I
What?
can see that.
I mean, if you were standing right here, it's
The ink
kinda,
black,
you know.
ink black. I feel it.
Well,
This is Random Tuesdays. I am Kelvis Freshly. That is Soul Brother number 1. This is Trill Huxtable. This is the man.
Right.
This is James, the owner of DSE. Come check him out.
oh yeah, I said I did want to ask you a question on air.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
So
You ask Mary though?
yep.
Sweet. You gonna see a proposal online right now?
The question was, like, because a lot of people don't know me, and it's like, I can't say it, so you have to say it. How would you describe me?
I would describe James much in the way that I would describe myself. We got a mind that moves a mile a minute, and we're also very quiet and very reserved unless you get to know us.
you
And then
reserved.
until you get to know us,
Yeah,
and then it's a little bit different.
Mm.
A little bit. Sometimes I can be. I'm trying to get out of my shell a little bit.
It's,
But anyway.
it's difficult.
Thank you.
Yeah.
James is the mind that moves a mile a minute. He's dope and he's creative, but he's also very quiet until you get to know him. He wants his art to speak for him, like I want my work
Or
to
as
speak for
some
myself.
some people have called me over the years, like
I noticed
That
shit was
definitely describes Kirby to a T.
That's cool though.
Do y'all get it yet?
Weirdo, yeah. Weirdos from the world.
Do y'all get it?
You definitely need that.
Wait,
You
let's-
are a weirdo.
Let me see
Guys,
if I can
you're
do.
such
Let me
a
see if I can do this.
I mean, we're the best people.
Definitely dope.
But
There you go.
anyway, this is the end of our show. Thank you for checking it out. Please share the link to the show. Tell your friends about us. Follow us, stalk us, tell your friends about us, tell your friends about him. We out, y'all. Later days.
Peace.
Oh.